That's why I'm on plain support, right? Are we all ready to bring Martin Angolo to the stage? Please give him a huge Liberty Hall welcome to Mr. Martin Angolo!
Very political now in Ireland now, because literally today, we've had an election today for our next president, right? Oh, you're the one Irish person, right? Yeah. And you was like, yeah. Yeah. Let's not get into that. Keep it light. That's one of the heckles you don't want to hear. I'm from Belfast, actually. Just keep it to your shit, mate. I prefer that now. No, because we're gonna have a new president, right? And people were concerned that we're gonna have a crazy president because there's a few people threw their names in early, like Michael Flatley from Riverdance. He was threatening. Conor McGregor was also another one. And he stepped out when the cocaine wore off. He realised that. And so people go, what if we have a crazy president? And I was thinking, I don't think it really matters, you know, because our president is just a figurehead, has no power, doesn't do much. Like no one's worried about who the Irish president is. No one's going, because I think it's because of Trump. Because Trump in America, if he wakes up in a bad mood, he could bomb somewhere, start a war. We're not going to bomb anywhere. We tried bombing back in the day, it didn't really suit us. It always comes back around. No, the IRA back in the day planted a few bombs in England, and then the Irish guilt set in. And then they were like, we better ring them up and let them know. Sort of reluctant bombers, let them know about it, be sound about it, you know. If the IRA were still planting bombs now, they'd be sending emails now. Going, I hope this finds you well. You have 20 minutes to get out. But because we're not worried about the president. Like the current president, the guy who's moving out is a guy called Michael D. Higgins. The Irish people will know. If you don't know Michael D. Higgins, he's basically, it's horrible to say, he's basically a leprechaun, right? He's an old man, short, grey-haired leprechaun. Lovely guy. He has no power, though. He hasn't done much in the last few years. But even if he did, even if he went full Trump, it wouldn't make the news. Because he has so little power. If Michael D. Higgins was like, I'm going to build a wall, we'd be like, it'll be 3 feet high, you know? We'll step over that, he'll struggle, it's fine. If the president of Ireland was like, had an affair with a porn star, we'd be like, fair play to him, actually, fair play. Michael D. Higgins had an affair with a porn star, well, just want to shake his hand. If Michael D. Higgins, our president, was in the Epstein files, go with me on this. If he was in the Epstein files, he's so beloved by Irish people, we'd still be making excuses for him. Well, Irish people would be going, whoa, hang on a second. The only reason he was on that island is because they thought he was one of the kids. That's the only... Say no more about it. No more about it.
So yeah, there will be some racial material, just to warn you, because as a black comedian, one of the biggest criticisms you get, black comedians, all they ever learn about is race. And again, a bit of a trope, but it's usually black English comedians, because in England, there's a lot of black comedians over there, and they're not really represented the same way on TV and stuff. So whenever they bring up race, they're also going to make a big point about it. Whereas in Ireland, there's only 5 black Irish comedians. And I'm the only funny one. So it'd be a shame not to, 4 years in a row, Ireland's funniest black person, it's, I thought it was guaranteed this year, I'm a shoo-in this year, surely Ireland's funniest, once again, Ireland's funniest black, surely. And then Samantha Mumba told Donald Skeen to show them a bag of dicks. I'm out. But before we get started, I should point out, during the show, there'll be a bit of swearing during the show. Most people are fine with swearing. We get people online sometimes going, all these modern comedians have to rely on swearing to get a laugh. It's horrible. Back in the 80s, all the entertainers in the 80s never had to swear to get a laugh. And it's true. A lot of the entertainers in the 80s never had to swear to get a laugh. But a lot of them were sexual predators. So I'll say fuck a few times and we're all safe. That's my guarantee.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of topics people are sort of like, angsty about. Like, immigration's the big one. Like in Ireland, we have a weird immigration stance where we're quite happy with people coming into the country, But our weird rule is we're happy with them coming in as long as they're from countries we find sexy. Look at all the sexy, like Irish border control at this point is basically, where are you from? South America? Yeah, straight through. In fact, here's the Deliveroo bag, work away. Now who's the racist? But look, But there's been a big rise in the sort of anti-immigration stuff now, you know, and look, when I was in the UK, there was all those riots going on back in August. And to be fair, some people felt like where they live isn't as safe as it used to be, so to make it safe, they set it on fire. And, nothing stops illegal immigration like breaking into a Greg's, you know. Take that to Syria. And I mean, we can't really explode. We had riots in Dublin last year as well, you know, Dublin riots. And what really annoyed me at the riots was all these riots. I always think they need a name. You know, we just call them wherever, you know, Dublin riots or whatever the riots happen. And I kind of think we should name our riots. You know, we should use it the same way. You know, every time we have bad weather, we always name our storms. You know, I think we should use the same system because you can always tell how bad the storm is going to be by how cunty the name is. Like a few years ago, we had like Storm Bernadette. You're going, oh, I could fly a kite in that. That's lovely. Easy, you know. Started this year, we had Storm Isha. A little bit cunty for my liking. I was walking around going, not a fan of this, you know. Sorry if there's any Ishas in, I'm just saying. It's a little bit, you know. So the cuntier the name, the worse the situation. So by that logic, we should just call the Dublin riots the Conor McGregor riots. I hold him entirely responsible for the whole thing. Like, he's been very vocal about all the anti-immigration stuff, hasn't he, McGregor? And he's a weird one, McGregor. You always get reminded of him, you know. Like, I was in America last year, and the thing now is if Americans find out that you're Irish, they only ask you about two things. They either ask you about the IRA or Conor McGregor. That's all we're known for. The IRA and Conor McGregor. One's responsible for acts of terrorism and ruining innocent lives, and the other one's the IRA. He's threatening to run for president of Ireland. He could be president, you know. Could have a situation where President Trump meets President McGregor. You know? Like, he's sort of our version of Trump. People always compare him to Trump, you know, he's that crazy presidential guy. And they're very different, you know, McGregor and Trump, you know. Like, Trump, he has silly hair and, you know, has sort of, he's, you know, known for having, you know, questionable relationships with women. Whereas McGregor, you know, he has great hair. Now, and legally, that's all I'm allowed to say. But he does have his fans, McGregor, you know. I'm not worried about McGregor fans, because McGregor fans are a bit too confident, you know. Like Conor McGregor fans, they're always the same kind of lads. They're always those lads who wear shorts all year round. They're the most confident people in the world. It's snowing out and he's still wearing shorts. And it's usually because he has like a shit calf tattoo he's trying to show off. If you ever called him out, they're always like, it's actually a very serious tattoo for my granddad, very serious calf tattoo for my granddad, actually. For my late granddad, it's very serious. My granny passed away, very serious calf tattoo for my granddad. It's like a penguin on a skateboard. You're going, I don't get it. You know. Well, the anti-immigration groups, they have terrible marketing, you know. Their big slogan, they always go, Ireland's full. You know, that's the big slogan. Ireland's full, which is a terrible slogan for an anti-immigration group. But it'd be a great catchphrase for like a pub carvery. This side of a pub, Ireland's full, and so am I. Extra gravy if you're Ukrainian. Be nice. A lot of anger at the migrants, you know, and it's a weird. I understand. And if you're living in an area that's sort of underprivileged and underfunded, and you see strangers coming in getting benefits, you feel like you should be getting. Yeah, you should be angry. But the anger is misplaced. They're getting angry at the migrants. They never look at it from the migrants' perspective, you know. But the migrants, they're not happy about being in these shit places either. They're getting off the bus in Kulak going, I wish I was back in Afghanistan. It reminds me too much of home, this place. If you're in a relationship, I'm delighted for you, you know, because it's very difficult now, isn't it, to meet people romantically. If you want to meet someone romantically these days, you only got like two options. It's either online dating or you go on Love Island. Like, I'd love to go on Love Island, you know, but my issue with Love Island is I think it'd be a lot better as a show if it was a bit more like, you know, like the first week, like the X Factor, when they have all the mental people on. I'd love to be the crazy person on Love Island, you know. And everyone's just in a jacuzzi on the island, and I'm standing just outside the jacuzzi in a big trench coat just looking in. Oh, that's a lovely tattoo, yeah. No, I can't get in. I'm a Veruca. I can't get in. The whole series in a trench coat and a Veruca sock. So I do the Love Island. I don't do the online stuff either. I don't do online dating either. You know, like I'm old school. You know, I pick up women on horseback. That's what I do. Not as popular as it used to be. You know, but I understand why online dating is so popular now. Because if you approach a woman in real life and ask her out, you know, and she rejects you, you really feel it. You know, you don't really get the same level of rejection online. Even worse, you go up to a woman and ask her out in real life. She says no, but you're on a horse. Oh. You can't really play it cool in that situation. You know? Spend 20 minutes trying to get into the pub. You want to play it cool in that situation, my advice would be have your horse trained. Have your horse trained so when the woman says no, the horse just goes, you just get out of there. That's a silly one.
Basically, I'm trying to go for a new audience. That's the new thing, you know. Because there are people who do get easily offended by things. But I think on the other side, there's comedians who go, you know, for no sake, go a bit too cruel. So I'm trying to find a new audience, you know, because people who come to comedy, like you guys, come to comedy on a Sunday, you're generally left-wing kind of people. And I'll be honest, there's no money in you. You're lovely. I really appreciate you coming out. There's no money in this whatsoever. There's only so many gigs I can do where I get paid in man buns and good vibes. It's not worth it. So I was going to go for the right-wing audience. That's where the money is. That's where all the money is, the right-wing audience. But I realised I'm not going to go for positive discrimination, so I'm fucked that way. So my new target is down the middle. There's a new middle ground audience, you know. So I'm sort of going to go for like xenophobic liberals. That's my unusual audience. Like trans people who are against same-sex marriage. Is it right, is it wrong? Basically, if you're sitting there and you're like, you see Enoch Burke's family on the news, you go, they're a bit like my family. I want you in my crowd. Just me in a room full of Garen Noons. That's all I want. Ideal crowd. I feel bad for him. I love, like, he's a lovely guy, Garen. And you know, if you don't know Garen Noon, he's online and he does a lot of videos. He talks about, like, you know, chocolates and crisps and immigration. All the life stuff. Keep it alive, as they say. He's a lovely guy. He got in trouble last night. I felt bad for him. Then he did a video correcting what he said. And to be honest, I was a bit disappointed. I was hoping he'd go really right wing. You know, people when they get like backlash, they always double down. I was hoping Gary Newman would double down. And he'd be like, "Oh, Freddo bars are all made in China now. Unbelievable." He can't even say Mr. Teo anymore. He doesn't have a gender. Oh. Missed opportunity.
But yeah, no, and like growing up, right, like race was never a big deal. Like, to be honest, well, growing up in Ireland, I never really suffered really bad racism, which is a shame because you get great material out of it. Much better show, much better. But like growing up, it was never a big deal, you know. And only recently it's become a big thing. People mention it, you know. My friends now, they start mentioning things about like their white privilege, and they're like, "Oh, Martin, I didn't realize how hard it must have been for you growing up, me and my white privilege, you know." I don't want to show off, but growing up, I was richer than all my friends, to be honest. But they were coming to my house to use my PlayStation, you know. And now I'm the victim, you know. Like they're trying to point out racism. Yeah, clap, mostly white room, and but. They're trying to point out racism now, you know, they always get it wrong. Like, I got refused from a nightclub a few months ago. One of my friends was going, "Oh, that bouncer was so racist, Martin, unbelievable. Can't believe how racist that bouncer was." I'm going, "I don't think he was a racist." He's going, "No, he was looking at you, that bouncer was a racist." I'm like, he saw me get sick outside the nightclb. I don't think it's... I stink, I shouldn't be anywhere. You know, the bouncer was black, you're doing it for your own benefit. You know. To be honest, I think the worst racism in Ireland now is after the pandemic, there's a lot of anti-Chinese racism, you know. Which is terrible, you know, it doesn't make sense to me, the anti-Chinese stuff, because often when you hear the anti-Chinese stuff in Ireland, it's usually people giving out about the food, you know. You hear an Irish person go, "Oh, you have to be careful with Chinese food, you know, you don't know what's in it," you know. I think we don't really have a leg to stand on in this country when it comes to giving out about, like, cuisines from around the world. Like you know, what's our national dish? What do we have? Like bacon and cabbage that you cook for 2 days to make sure it's dead. That's what I grew up on. Or like the national dish of Dublin is coddle. Yeah, horrible. Coddle stew, sausages cooked in the tears of a depressed Irish housewife. It's horrible. Just a bowl of 5 sausages in a grey, salty stew and sauce. It's like trying to eat an episode of Naked Attraction. Horrible. Disgusting. Yet we give out about Chinese food. And Chinese food is still the most popular takeaway in Ireland, right? Whereas in China, They're not ordering Irish takeaway, are they? They're like, we'll get the lads over, watch the match and order some Irish food, yeah. We'll get 4 bacon and cabbages there when you're ready. Don't worry, lads, we'll be here in 2 days, don't worry. And if it's like the fancy version of like an Irish restaurant, you get like the Irish version of fortune cookies, just a gas bill and a baked potato. There you go. But I do like it. Thanks for trying to start an applause. No one. I respect that, but I respect everyone else for going, nah, I'm not giving them one. Good. But, so, I do like a takeaway, you know. Order a lot of takeaways, which is, you know, it's a weird one, because I often order from the same place, and I see the same delivery guy, and, you know, I find the relationship you tend to have with your delivery driver is very similar to the relationship you tend to have with a prostitute. I imagine. Don't order that much takeaway, but you know, no, very similar. You know, there's no names exchanged. They turn up, you hand over the cash. They provide their service. You feel ashamed afterwards. I always need more napkins. And no matter how much you want, there's never any kissing on the mouth, is there? There's never any. You think he'd deliver those chips awful quick? I'll give him a kiss. Never happens. Get your helmet off. Come here. Never happens. They're basically the same job. You know, there's only one difference between a sex worker and a food delivery person, and that's if you spend a certain amount of money with a sex worker, you don't get like a free portion of prawn crackers. And they're missing the trick, I think. They're missing the trick. Imagine how much happier you'd be, right? You're leaving the brothel. We've all been there. Yeah? There's already a bit of a spring in your step, obvious reasons. You're leaving the brothel. You think, how can this day get any better? And just before you leave, they go, hey, big lad, free can of Coke. Off you go. Leaving the brothel. So, yes. First time leaving the brothel has gotten a round of applause in this country. But I am unhealthy. Like I ordered too much takeaway and stuff. I knew I had a problem. Like I saw a Deliveroo driver fall off his bike the other day, and pretty badly. And a few of us, we helped him to the side. We rang an ambulance, and all I could think was, how long before we can eat the food? There's a part of me going, if he dies, I'm having those chips. And like the ambulance people turned up and they were like, what's the damage? I'm like, we lost 3 burgers back there. Like I knew I had a problem with food when I was watching porn, and I was more concerned with what kind of pizza the guy was delivering. I was like questioning the plot of the film going, there's no way that medium pizza is going to fill those 2 girls and those 20 guys. There's no way. And these pornos just aren't realistic. There's no way that's 12 inches. There's no way. Like, I don't think racism is bad in every situation. This is my theory. I think if you're in a horrible place, the racism doesn't matter as much, you know? Like, if I was in a dump of a place, if I was in Santee, for example, I don't know. For example. You're from there? Well, I'm just saying if I was there and a racist came up to me and said, you don't belong here, I take it as a compliment. I'd be looking around going, yeah, I think you're right, yeah. I don't think anyone belongs here. Yeah. Like in Ireland, what I get reminded I'm black is the weird thing, you know? Like I do a lot of shows and I get a lot of cabs, and cab drivers are great at reminding you that you're black. Like the most common question I get asked in a cab is, so where are you from, right? And I'll say Dublin, but it turns out I'm wrong. Because they'll usually go, yeah, but where are you actually from? Get that on. Yeah? And usually for a quiet cab ride, I just tell him what I think he wants to hear. I just go, I'm from Africa, all of it. Right? And he's delighted. He's like, yeah, I thought so, yeah. That checks out. But I've stopped giving in now, so if he goes, where are you actually from? I just keep saying Dublin, don't give in. Right? But he doesn't give in either. He's like, okay, where are your parents from? I'm like, Dublin, never give in. Right? Grandparents, Dublin, never give in. Great-grandparents, generations going back, Dublin. He's like, how far back? I'm like, since the Big Bang, we've been in Dublin. All he needs to know. Like even in school, I went to an Irish school. I was the only black kid in the whole school. And Irish schools are full of the palest looking sickly kids. Pale, sickly Irish kids. Nearly see-through, these kids. pale and the colour of cheap glue. That's what these kids are. My first week in school, I thought the place was haunted. It was terrifying. Terrified. And I was the only black kid in the school. And it was great, because they loved having black kids, because it was so rare. I was like a unicorn, you know. Basically, I get special treatment every year. They get all the kids together, take a photograph of all the kids, and then they go, and we'll get a photo of just Martin. Get all the other kids out. Principal has his arm around me, like I'm the prize pig at the fair. We get a lot of bacon out of this one. Loving it. Loving it. But basically, I'd be reminded in history class, you know, something horrible would come up in history. And basically, the history teacher would go, and that's how slavery happened. You know about slavery, Martin? Sitting there going, I'm 12, I wasn't there, you know. Like, you don't have that with other students, do you? You don't have a gay student and go, well, you're not going to get into college, but you can get in through the back door. You know about... It'd be inappropriate. Like, thinking about it, I'm quite happy being black, but I think I'd prefer to be gay. Obviously, you can be both. I'm not crazy. But if someone gave me the options, one or the other, I'd prefer to be gay, because I have a lot of gay friends. I'm quite jealous, because they have great coming out stories. And you don't get to come out as black. Wouldn't be quite the same. You know, if I sat my mother down age 15 and said, I have something to tell you. I think I'm black. And she puts her hand on my hand and goes, I always knew. It's not quite as emotional. So yeah, I'm an Irish man, stereotypical Irish man, you know. Like, I've got all the Irish stereotypes. I've got no emotional range, you know. Like, this is me happy and sad. There's no shift. Another Irish thing, we love bad news in Ireland. Oh, I love bad news. Oh, misery and suffering. I love a bit of bad news. You know, in films and TV, you get a character saying, got some good news and some bad news. What do you want to hear first? In that situation, an Irish person says, I want to hear the bad news twice. I love it. Oh. You go to a Chinese restaurant, you get, you know, fortune cookies, a bit of good news at the end of your meal. If an Irish person invented those, they'd be misfortune cookies. And they'd be bad news at the end of your dinner. But you'd be looking forward to it. You'd open up a cookie. It would say, in a week, you're going to stub your toe. Oh, can't wait. Save that for later. Can't wait. Some of them would be a bit more severe. You know, you open up another cookie. It would say, due to your nature of pushing people away, you're going to die alone. Interesting. And all your friends and family in the restaurant will be going, that's just like you, isn't it? It's just typical. Typical. I think the new version of coming out now is that people come out about their mental health and their neurodiversity. That's the new one. I got a lot of friends tell me about their neurodiversity. And the hardest part about someone telling you about their neurodiversity is trying to act surprised. Oh, you have ADHD? Oh, that's a shock. Yeah. That explains why I couldn't get a word in the last 10 years anyway, yeah. I bought tickets for a flight. This is how I knew I fucked up. I flew with Spirit Airlines, and that was... You know what? I'm not going to give out about it, because I think with cheap airlines, you get what you pay for, you know? If I'm paying $15 to fly to Arizona, I don't even expect to be in the plane. The fact that I'm in a seat, this is fantastic. Irish people, we clap when the plane lands, because they're like, I clap before we take off, $15. People complain about the staff and the service. I think the way they treat their staff, I could be on a cheap airline, the air steward could tell me, I could ask for a bottle of water, and the air steward could tell me to piss off and spit on me. I go, yeah, fair enough, $15. In some circles, getting a woman in uniform to spit on you for $15 is good value. But that's... different group of people. You know, I never really understood the sexy woman in uniform thing, you know? You know, Halloween women dress up as like sexy nurses. I don't think nurses are sexy, you know, inherently. I've never been horny in a hospital, is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? I've never been on a bed having my ass wiped from me, thinking, I'm going to try and chat this woman up right now. This is the opportunity. She can see everything. We might as well get it all out there. Like getting your vaccine, it wouldn't really work flirting with a nurse getting your vaccine. She's going, you're going to feel a small prick. Play your cards right, so could you. Doesn't really... I've got to wait around for 15 minutes anyway. Maybe. Doesn't really... So...
Well, very divisive figures, you know. Like, if you don't like Bono, you just dismiss him as a wanker, don't you? Yeah. Unanimous, yeah, good. Yeah, you do, and he's one of them, like with comedians, right? If other comedians like a comedian, that comedian is known as the comedian's comedian. And in the same way, Bono is known as the wanker's wanker. Other wankers look at Bono and tip the hat to him going, yeah. Like the Happy Pear brothers are like, I don't know how he does it. I don't know. I didn't know you could wear the sunglasses for that long. There's two of us and he's still a bigger wanker. I don't know. And the Happy Pear brothers, like, how can two people be so smug and dead behind the eyes at the same time? And I say that as a vegetarian, right? I'm trying to move more plant-based, right? But I see that and I'm like, I'd kill a pig out of spite. Just, if they were in front of me, I'd push a pig off a cliff in front of them. Just to spite them. But Bono's still the bigger wanker. Bono's still, right? And he's a funny one with Bono, because like he says good things that you can't really argue with, you know. Like Bono will be there going, we have to save the planet. Like, shut up, Bono, you wank, telling me how to save my planet. Wanker. He'll be in Africa, Bono, right? Saving little African kids. And the little African kids with no English will be looking at him there going, who's this wanker trying to save me? Bono's waving goodbye to the villagers like that. They're like that back at him, wanker. I don't like him personally. If it's not obvious, you know. I hate Bono so much, if he came up with like the cure for cancer and I needed it, I wouldn't take it. Just a spite, wouldn't touch it. Be trying to give it to me and I'd be like, no. And my final words to him before I died would be, and you still haven't found what I'm looking for. You wanker. I think it's because he doesn't dress for the job. Yeah? He's trying to be a humanitarian about everything, yeah? But he wears the sunglasses indoors and the leather trousers. He's not dressed for the job. Yeah? To me, sunglasses indoors, leather trousers, that's not a humanitarian. To me, Bono dresses like someone who you don't leave your pint unattended in front of. See, he was at the bar beside you put a cover on that, wouldn't you? To me, Bono would slip something into your drink just as easy as he slipped one of his albums onto your phone. He's a creep. Creepy Bono.
Closest I get to being a little bit kinky, closest I get is I do like a quite conservative woman, you know. Because there's an element when you're with a conservative woman of, ooh, if this doesn't go well, she might try and have me deported. It's kind of sexy, kind of dangerous. Ooh, she likes strong borders, but she let me in. Now, a good, strong DUP woman, that's what I like. Don't Google that, you get weird results. But I like a conservative woman, but you know, they're not my favourite group of people. If I had to pick a favourite group of people, it would have to be lesbians. Oh, love lesbians, you know. Not in a creepy way. I'm just very comfortable around lesbians, you know. I think it's because if I shave the beard off and cut the hair short, I kind of pass for one. I've got a very strong Hawaiian lesbian look. You know. It helps if you picture me in coconuts. Now, one of my best friends is a lesbian, and this is a true story. Last year in Dublin, there's a lesbian nightclub that pops up every couple of months. And my friend rings me up, she goes, Martin, I'm going to this lesbian nightclub. My friend just dropped out, do you want to come along? And I was like, yeah, I love lesbians. She's like, yeah, calm down. And go along, and it's one of those nightclubs where you queue for nearly an hour to get in, and everyone's angry, I'm the only man in the queue. And we don't like queuing for things in Ireland, you know. They ever try and get the bus? Like, no one queues for the bus in Dublin. We just like form an angry clump at the front of it. Thanks for laughing at that, because I did this show in Dalkey at the start of the year, right? And basically the only part of the show that no one could comprehend was when I went, you know when you get the bus? No, mate, no. There's a room full of Ishas that night. Anyway, point is, I'm in the queue, and we get to the front, and the bouncer, basically I can hear, it's a lot of anger in the queue, a lot of tension, and I can hear angry lesbians at the back going, what's that man doing here, right? And my friend is backing away from me going, you're on your own here, mate. So I'm nervous, I don't want to ruin the night, you know, and we get to the front, and the bouncer looks me up and down, and the bouncer just goes, you do know this is a lesbian nightclub, right? And I panic, and I shouldn't have said this, right? But in the moment, out of self-defense, I said, I'm non-binary. And the bouncer was like a 60-year-old Irish man. He just goes, what does that mean? And I said, I've no fucking idea, to be honest. I didn't think there'd be a follow-up question, you know. It was stupid, because I do know what it is, and I know loads of non-binary people, and they're all great. It's one person, but they're all great. That could be one of the best jokes in the show. I'm just like, there's 4 proper jokes in this show, right? And I'm not. You've been doing so well so far. I'm just saying, you know, you got to keep up with these. You know, there's going to be another one in about 2 minutes, right? And I'm not giving you any more help, right? So 3 more proper jokes. Just keep an eye out for them and up your game. Anyway, the point is, long story short, lesbians are cool. They let me in, right? No issue. But my friend goes, you know, you fucked up back there. You shouldn't have said that. I'm like, yeah. I panicked. And she said, if you're in that situation again, what you say is you're an ally. That's the word, you're an ally. I'm like, yeah, of course. Yeah, to lesbians, yeah. In fact, in any conflict now, I'm allied only to lesbians. People are like, what's your whole stance on the Middle East? I'm like, I'm with the lesbians on this one. My people, you know. People are very body positive now. There's this whole body positivity movement. I've had body positive comments from people. People come up to me and go, oh, you're very brave putting yourself out there. Brave? That's your level for bravery. I just eat a lot of cake. I don't think it's brave, you know. People going, you're a hero. I'm like, no, I'm depressed. Really, I'm depressed. If I don't eat, I'll kill. And it's a nice idea, be nice to bigger people, but sometimes it's even more insulting, you know. You get people going, it's great that you don't care about how you look. I'm making an effort up here, yeah. So people think you're brave for like indulging yourself. People also think you're brave for being a comedian. That's the other thing. People think it's... genuinely, after a gig once, there's a fireman in the crowd. And he came up to me afterwards and said, you're very brave doing what you do. A fireman chooses to run into fires. Right? He's calling me... And this is the ego of a comedian. I just took the compliment. I was like, yeah, we do what we do. Patted him on the head, you know. And even worse, it was a fat fireman as well. Which is even braver, you know. Because there's more of him can catch on fire. I'm like, that's a hero. But yeah, I'm out of shape. I drink too much. People drinking tonight? Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, I like to drink. No. That's the drunkest no I've ever heard. No, I'm not drinking. They just stopped serving you. That's what happened there, isn't it? And he's not happy about it. No, I'm not drinking. Not true choice. No, I like a drink, you know. I'm at the point now, though, like if I see a beautiful pale woman in a black dress, all I think is, oh, I'd love a Guinness. More than anything else, all I want is a Guinness. Good head. And, but I do like that. I'm a big Guinness drinker, is the thing, right? Like, I do so many gigs in Dublin. I can walk into any pub in Dublin, right? I can walk into a pub, a barman will give me a nod. If I nod back, that means you're having a Guinness. It's great, right? But if you leave Dublin, there's certain weird pubs down the country. You get something odd happens, like Mick Burns's, right? Every time I go into Burns's, I'll give a nod, I'll still get the pint, but he always offers me weird meats. Every time. I was here a month ago doing a gig, I dropped into Burns's, gave a nod, he got my and he starts going, black pudding, black pudding, black pudding. I didn't know if he was offering or just calling me that. Yeah. I mean, I was in his arms at the time. I was in his arms. Black pudding. Shh, black pudding. Would you sign the book, will you? Black pudding. But, yeah. I've got a Guinness drinker's face, I think, you know. But it's sort of mixed messaging my face, you know, with the beard and everything. I kind of look like an Islamic fundamentalist member of the Dubliners. Like a jihadi Ronnie Drew. Like a member of Diddley ISIS. So, the best joke you'll hear all night.
I don't think we really do cool in Ireland, you know.
Like we do some stuff great, but sometimes we try and be cool, and I don't think it really suits us, you know. Like right now in Dublin at the minute, there's a big Irish rap scene, right, out of Dublin, and it's great, but I wouldn't say it's cool, you know. Like it doesn't really suit us. Like we try and do rap, but like we use a lot of Irish, you know, terminology and stuff. Like it doesn't really. It's not as cool to be rapping about having a load of bitches on the Lewis. It's not really. It's not quite the same, you know. Like you dismiss Jay-Z straight away if he started using Irish slang. If Jay-Z in a song went, "Yeah, when I grew up I was surrounded by alcoholics. They said have a drink. I said, will me bollocks." You go, "No, I'm done with rap now. That's at the same level as Crystal Swing. You've ruined that." Like we do stuff brilliantly, but it's not cool, you know. Like fucking like Christy Moore singing about the hardships of the working man and sweating away there. Oh, it's brilliant. It's not. If Christy Moore was sitting there sweating away talking about riding bitches, you go, bit creepy. Bit much.
Like as a comedian now, you don't want to say the wrong thing, you know. Like hear a lot of comedians complaining, going, "Oh, you say the wrong thing, you get in trouble." It does happen. Like I suppose the biggest comedian in the country, you know, Tommy Tiernan, he got in trouble last year. He was making jokes about African taxi drivers in Dublin, and a black woman in the crowd walked out and complained, tried to get his chat show taken off TV, and he had to publicly apologise and free now the taxi app they stopped sponsoring the show. And I wasn't really sure how I felt about the whole thing. And then last summer, I ended up doing a bunch of gigs with Tommy as part of his reparations. And we struck up a deal. Yeah, you know, I was like 5 gigs with me, Tommy, and you in Africa are quits. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll set up my own people for a tank of petrol. Don't you worry. And I was gigging with him, and I said the wrong thing on stage. I was on stage, and first show in, basically, if you're in a big theatre like this, if you go over time when you're on stage, you get a big flash. They flash you, and it's very obvious. And I was going over time, got the flash, and I thought, I've got to find a way out of here. So, for a bit of a laugh, a bit of banter, I said, I better wrap it up now, because I don't want to make things uncomfortable. It was already awkward enough backstage when I was introduced to Tommy, and he thought I was his taxi driver. Bit of banter, bit of fun, yeah? Got away with that. As I'm moving towards the curtain, I see Tommy standing there. He'd been listening the whole time. And I thought, oh no, I fucked up. I didn't really know the guy, you know. I thought, I'm taking the piss here. And to be fair, he actually handled it very well. He actually apologised to me. And he told me there was no place for racism in Irish comedy. At least that's what I think he said. He did say it in a traveller accent. Don't know why. I think he does that when he panics. I go Chinese when I'm nervous. Anyway. So... Like a lot of comedians are worried, like everyone's, even people are aware of this whole thing. I'm like, oh, you're not worried about the whole cancel culture thing? People say that to you, you're not worried about getting cancelled. And I'll be honest with you, my career's not going that well. You know. Like this is nice, but the gigs I usually play, they're like, oh, they'll take everything away from you. You can have it. I've got nothing, you know. Like comedians, they're not worried about getting cancelled. That's not the worry for comedians now. The big worry for comedians now is you don't want to get baby reindeered. That's the big one. Yeah, that's scary. You know, I spent the whole month in Edinburgh. That show basically ruined Scottish women for me. For the whole month in Edinburgh, just shitting myself every time I met one. Going, it was part of me going, I'll get a Netflix show out of it though. But all the famous Scottish women I grew up watching on TV, they're all ruined for me now. You know, all the famous Scottish women you watch growing up on the TV. You know, like there's loads of them. You know, all the famous ones. You know, like Mrs. Doubtfire. That was the main one. But comedians now, like you know, you're not really sure what to talk about as a comedian. Because some comedians, you don't want to go the offensive route, and in this current climate. And so a lot of comedians go very personal. They do shows like the Baby Reindeer show is a very personal show, and there's another Irish comedian, Ed Byrne. He's doing a whole show at the minute. He's doing a show about the death of his brother. Last year, his brother died under very tragic circumstances. And it was hilarious. And well, it was not in and of itself. He made it funny. His brother didn't die in a funny way, He didn't like drown in a bath of beans or something, If you're a comedian and you have a family member drown in a bath of beans, you have to write a show about it. I'm sorry. If my mother drowns in a bath of beans tonight, I'm scrapping this and that's the new show. And it's going to be called In Hindsight. Now, we're back. Well, I noticed this. I think it's one area where women have it better than men is in terms of sex toys, because there's a very casual attitude towards women's sex toys. They're very discreet and carry them on you. Like if I was in a woman's house and walked past her bedroom and saw a vibrator on the bed, no one's going to pass comment. But you think about the sex toys men have.
If you walk past my bedroom and you saw a slowly deflating blow-up doll, just kill me now, kill me now. That's the conversation. Because that's all men had for years was the blow-up doll, right? And that, it was a blow-up doll and a vagina in a can, you know? That's all we had. I'm not making this up, it was a little can, you open it up, and how depressed you have to be to crack open one of them, I think. I couldn't use one, I don't have the imagination to be able to use one of them. I wouldn't be able to imagine the rest of the woman in that situation. You know? I'd be using one of them going, I'm just fucking a tube of Pringles here. Like most fast food places lie in their slogans, don't they? Most of the slogans don't really match the products. Like McDonald's slogans, McDonald's, I'm loving it. You know, but you go into a McDonald's and you look around, no one's actually loving it, are they? Like, depending on the time of day, it's either full of children or really drunk people. Parts of Ireland, it's drunk children. Just be careful. Fact. Burger King slogan, Burger King, have it your way. Yeah? Having it my way wouldn't be in Burger King, would I? If you're in line for your dinner in Burger King, life hasn't gone to plan. It's just fact. The worst one is TGI Fridays. Their slogan is, it's always Friday in TGI Fridays. It's not. They go through the days of the week like everybody else, right? But the staff are trained, they always have to be like, it's always Friday in TGI Fridays. And I hate the fake happiness they put on. You go in, they're doing a conga line, you know? Just because somebody ordered some soup. It's ridiculous, right? And there's one in Ireland, and there's Irish people working there, and Irish people can't put on the fake happiness that you need for that job. The Irish people there, they're dead behind the eyes. They're sending messages in the food, get help in fries. But if you've ever been, one of the rules is if you say it's your birthday, they have to sing you happy birthday. That's one of the things. They get up on the tables, make a big deal. And the Irish people hate it. So I like to mess with them by going in, I say it's my birthday, they sing happy birthday, I go in the next day, and I make them do it again. And I keep going back day after day, just pissing them off. And after about 5 days, they go, hang on a second, you've been here 5 days in a row saying it's your birthday, what's going on? And I say, it's always Friday in TGI Fridays. Give me my bit of cake. That's what I like. See, I'm trying to be healthier, you know. I went vegetarian to be a bit healthier, and it's only been a little while, and already I feel awful, terrible. Not like physically, just emotionally, you know. Because everyone hates vegetarians. Like at Christmas, your family think you're being awkward. Vegans think you're not trying hard enough. You can't win. Can't win. The amount of barbecues I've ruined as a vegetarian by just going, is there a vegetarian option? And the answer is always, yeah, you can fuck off. I'll be in the corner by the salad. Okay. But the vegetarian diet does work. I've already lost 5 friends, so I count it. You have to be active as well. I'm trying to be more active. I've started boxing. That's my new sport of choice. And I really like boxing because I love hugs, you know? And it's the only sport, isn't it? You can hug in the middle of a boxing match. There's no questions asked, it's all fine. Can't be halfway through a game of pool and go. Bad call, yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? Weird. The other reason I like boxing is because without the beard, I look exactly like Muhammad Ali if he ate George Foreman. So that's the look. But it was Muhammad Ali who said when it comes to boxing, you know, it's a mental fight. You have to win the fight up here. So that's why whenever I box, right, I just hug, right, and I whisper sweet nothings into the ear of the guy I'm fighting. So I'll be there and I'm going, oh, why do I always have to fight? Oh, God. You smell nice. You know. I'm hard as a rock right now. What about you? Undefeated.
I've got a whole slap list. Benjamin Netanyahu, he's getting a slap. It's not a kneecap gig. And I'm actually the one in the balaclava. Anyway, the point is, no, Netanyahu, basically, I'm not political. I've got no political opinions, really. I don't know enough, really, you know. But Netanyahu, he annoys me, right? Because his name makes him sound more fun than he is. Like before everything kicked off, I'd hear his name on the news, like, this guy could be a bit of crack, you know? He's got Yahoo in his name. You know? And he's netting them. He's netting Yahoos. It's like calling yourself, Benjamin scoring whoopies or something,
There's a lot of pressure with weddings, even as a guest, Like the pressure, like to get a good gift, how much money do you put in a card? €50, not enough. €100, you don't like them that much. And you can't put change in a card. I learned that the hard way. Do you ever see a couple, you're like, I reckon about €63 would be perfect, right? They hate that, But I used to commit to good gifts, and I've just stopped now because I felt like an idiot. You can see the look of disappointment. My new thing is shit gifts. Every wedding now. Every wedding is just a pair of socks and a big bottle of Fanta. That's all you get. Because I used to make an effort, and I'd see the look of disappointment, and I always felt like the wise man who brought myrrh to the birth of Jesus. Because he thought he'd get away with it, didn't he? And he's there with the other wise men walking towards the manger, and he's going, what did everyone else bring? And the other guy's going, gold. Didn't know we were doing big gifts. The gold guy's going, what did you bring? Myrrh, And he's like, what even is myrrh? I'm not sure, to be honest. If I'm honest, I found it by the sink, and pretty sure it's poisonous to babies. The gold guy's going, that's not very wise, is it? Hey, shut up. And the guy with the frankincense is going, who got away with that? Because frankincense was the original shit gift, Frankincense was like the original version of a Lynx Africa set. Back in them days, like, this place stinks, have a bit of frankincense. And then anyway, they get to the manger, and they give all the presents to Joseph. And Joseph's like, oh, thanks for the myrrh, The way this... he was a bit bitchy, Joseph, back in the day. And at this point, the myrrh guys had enough, right? And he goes, hey, this is the attitude, Joseph, just because you're not the real father. And, too soon. And, I think my issue with the three wise men is, it couldn't happen in Ireland, because if three people are known as the three wise men, it's always said sarcastically, isn't it? So, oh, look, it's the three wise men. They locked themselves in a shed for 2 hours last night. Wise men.
I got called out on my way last year. I was in America last year, and I was flying over, and I was on one of those big planes, like the 2 aisles on the plane, and I was sat at the window, and there was an announcement on the flight that went, we're going to have to move some passengers around to redistribute the weight of the plane. And about 8 people turned around and looked at me. I was like, we don't know who it is. Could be anyone. And then it was me. I was moved to the middle of the plane. And I was sat there going, how bad am I, I have to sit in the middle of this plane, because if I sit at the window, we're going to come in landing like at an angle. Okay. Americans are interested, you're fine, but no, one thing I noticed about Americans is you love a ghost in America, right? Every time you're in an old building, they always tell you how haunted it is, right? So I was in an old building, you always hear someone go, oh, if you listen out, you'll hear the footsteps of a soldier from 150 years ago. It's a ghost looking for his wife, Every ghost is from 150 years ago. And I was thinking, in the future, in about 150 years from now, ghosts are going to be shit, aren't they? Because all the ghosts are going to be people from now who've done nothing. And you'll be in an old building and you hear someone go, oh, if you listen out, you can hear a TikToker looking for a phone charger. Shit ghosts, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're funny Americans. They're very enthusiastic, Like even the comedians. Like I did a show with a bunch of American comedians. One of them was like, okay guys, let's give the show 110%. And I was like, I don't think that's possible. Like even right now, you're all lovely. I'm giving this about 20%. That's my limit. Full disclosure, I don't even want to be here right now. The traveling over and it's not. I'd rather just email in the jokes and you judge it yourself at home. Be easier, wouldn't it? Be nice. But Americans, they love the Irish in America, and like over here, I'm considered to be quite a cool black guy, for Ireland. It's a low bar, but in America, I'm a properly cool black guy. It's guys with like backstories and stuff. I met one guy who was telling me at age 13 he was pushing drugs on the street. And he got out of that by getting into like freestyle rap. He goes, Martin, what were you doing at age 13? I was like, I was in an Irish school doing fucking river dance. No street cred at all, And they love the Irish. They love the Irish, but they have no concept of like black Irish people over there. So I was in a show with a bunch of American comedians, and I was introduced to a black American comedian as an Irish guy. And he couldn't believe what he was seeing. He had no concept for it. And he summed me up in one sense. He looks me up and down and he just goes, this nigga's a paddy. This nigga's a paddy. And I was more offended at being called a paddy, I'll be honest with you. To the point, I kind of had to call them out. I said, that's not actually your word to use. There's a lot of history behind the P word in my country. You kind of have to be one of us to be able to say it. You, of all people, should know that. And he got very defensive. He told me his backstory, which was he grew up in California at the height of like gang violence between like, the Bloods and the Crips. And for a year of his life, basically, every month someone close to him would die from gang violence. He goes, Martin, what would you do if you were in my situation? And I said, when it comes to black-on-black violence in America, I'm with the lesbians on this, whatever they
Basically, the way I end my shows, because I'm not like a famous comedian by any stretch, so when people turn out, like it's sort of a bit of a risk, you know, because you're not really sure if it's your kind of humour. And statistically, with the amount of people in this room, there are people who haven't enjoyed the last hour. And so what I like to do, I like to end with some of the jokes that I thought wouldn't be funny enough, and it'll just show for the people who haven't enjoyed it that the show could have been much worse. So maybe appreciate what you got. So we'll do a couple. Let's do a couple of quick one-linery type jokes. Jokes not funny enough. And we'll get out of here. Okay. So the pandemic was weird. A friend of mine, he spent the last 3 years in Greece. Yeah, that was a long musical. He said, I don't want to be reminded about it. I said, tell me more, tell me more. Growing up, my mother would always tuck me in. She'd always tuck me in because she wanted me to look like a girl. I can see people explaining it. I've never done this for this long either, I'll be honest. I'm a modern man. I always compliment a woman after sex, but very often they can't hear me through the window. A friend of mine asked me to put together a hip-hop playlist without any fat rappers on it. I said, no biggie. Okay, I'll leave you with I'll do a few more. I'll tell you the wise words. Tell you the wise words of my grandmother. She used to always say, if you can't see it, don't worry about it. She died of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Thanks for coming out, everyone. See you again.